Okay, here's the words from list 11. Our first stem is I. I is always put at the end of a word, and it means plural. Let's look at some example words. Bacilli, fungi, nuclei. A lot of science words, as you've probably figured out. I want to talk about the word fungi. Fungi means the plural of fungus. Now, the most common fungus and the one that most people probably know about is the mushroom. Another word that uses this stem is octopi. That means the plural of octopus. So when you're talking about more than one octopus, you would call them octopi. Our next stem is jus. Jus means law. This is where we get words like justice or justify. I want to talk about this one, jus soli. Jus soli is a legal term. It comes from the Latin that means the right of the soil. So what it basically means is the country of citizenship of a child is determined by the country where the child is born. The next stem is lum. Lum means light. This is where we get words like luminary or luminous. I want to talk about the word luminous. Now, the stem ous means full of. So what we're looking at as a word that means full of light. So like in this picture, the sun is shining through the clouds, so we would say that the clouds are luminous. They are full of light. The word an means year. This is where we get words like annual or anniversary, or the word I want to talk about, superannuated. The stem super means over, so this would be like over year. So too many years, making something too old to be useful or too old to be of service, like the old tractor in this picture. Our next stem is apo. Apo means away. This is where we get words like apotheosis, apogee, apoplexy. The one I want to talk about is apotheosis. The stem theo means God. So think of apotheosis as someone who's taken away from the ordinary and moved up to be on the same level as a god. So apotheosis. The stem sen means old. This is where we get our words like senile or senior. Or the one I want to talk about to begin with is senile. The suffix ile means belonging to. So someone who is senile could be said to be belonging to old age. Another word I want to talk about is senescent. Senescent is an interesting word, may not be one that you're familiar with. Essent means beginning to be. So senescent would be growing old or beginning to be old. Now I want to compare that to another word. The word is adolescent. Adolescent has the stem that means adult, adult. So we have beginning to be adult, which would be you guys, compared to senescent or beginning to be old. The next stem is soul. Soul means alone. This is where we get words like solitude or solitary or the word solo. The one I want to talk about is the word solitude. Tude means the state of. So solitude would be the state of being alone. Then we have the word soliloquy. Soliloquy is a word that we talk about when we're talking about plays or the genre of drama. Loqu is a stem that means to talk. So a soliloquy would be the act of talking while you're alone. Probably the most famous soliloquy might be from Romeo and Juliet when Juliet is standing on her balcony talking. The word bass means low. This is where we get words bass, basic, contrabass, things like that. And the one I want to talk about, bassoon. Bassoon is a large woodwind instrument. The range of notes that it plays is very low. You can see a picture of what it looks like. You may have heard one if you have been in band or ever seen a symphonic band perform. You may have heard this. It does have a very low, kind of mellow, almost sad sounding tone to it. The next stem is rogat. Rogat means ask. This is where we get our words interrogation or abrogate, or the one I want to talk about, derogatory. The stem D means down. So when you make a derogatory statement about somebody, what you're doing is you're asking people to put them down, to lower them and make them feel like they're not good enough. The next one is parle. Parle means speak. This is where we get our words like parliament, or parley, or parlance, or the one I want to talk about, parlor. Now, a parlor is a specific room that's used for entertaining visitors. Now, you can see a picture of one. Now, this would be the room where when people came to visit you, you would take them into the parlor, and there you would sit and you would talk. If someone asks you, parlez-vous français? What they're asking is, do you speak or parle French? So you would either answer oui, if you do speak French, or no, if you do not speak French. Our next stem is potent. Potent means power. This is where we get our words like potential, or potentate, or the one I want to talk about, omnipotent. The stem omni means all. So if someone is omnipotent, they have very great or even possibly unlimited power. The next stem, surge. Surge means rise. This is where we get words like surge or resurgence or the other ones that you can see there on the slide. I want to talk specifically about resurgence. The stem re means again. So if something is having a resurgence, that means that it's rising up again or it's coming up again. The word log means word or reason. Doesn't mean the kind that you get when you chop down a tree. This is where we get words like logic or neologism. I want to talk about the word monologue. Mono means one. A monologue is another word that refers to drama or plays. A monologue is when one person is talking for a long time and no other characters are speaking. Our next stem, gram, means writing. This is where we get words like telegram or pentagram or hexagram, or the word grammar. Grammar means the study of the way sentences are constructed. So when you study grammar, you're studying writing. How are sentences written and put together? The stem cant means sing. It's where we get words like recant or cantata or canticle. The word incantation is a word that uses this stem. It means the chanting of words that have magical power. So if you're doing an incantation, you're singing in these words so that their power will be released. The stem reg means rule. This is where we get words like regal or regulate or regicide or regulation. The word regal stands for something that has to do with the king or that has to do with royal, and that would definitely fit the bill. The word pro means forward. This is where we get words like provide, pronounce, program. The word prospect is a word that uses the stem pro. The stem spec means look. So if you have a prospect, that means you're looking forward to something that could happen in the future. The stem gyne means woman. This is where we get our words like androgynous or gynecologist. Or this one, polygyny. The stem poly means many. So polygyny is having more than one wife at a time. The stem ag means to do. This is where we get our words like agent or agitate or aggression or agile. Agile, as I've said before, means capable of. So if someone is agile, that means they're capable of doing, of moving quickly and being well coordinated. Another stem that means to do is the word act. This is where we get our words like act, transact, react, and action. Tion means state of. So when you say the word action, what you're really saying is this is the state of being active. It means exactly what you would think it means. The stem mob means move, where we get our words mobility or mobilize. The word mobile uses the stem ile, meaning capable of, so mobile means capable of moving. Now let's talk about the word mobile. We call our mobile devices here cellular phones, but in England they're referred to as mobiles because they're phones that you can use while you're moving somewhere. The Latin stem ses means sit. It's where we get our words like session or sessile or incessorial, or the word obsessed. The stem ob means toward. So if you're obsessed with someone or something, your thoughts are moving toward that particular idea or person or thing that you're obsessed with. The word fic means make. This is where we get our words fortification, horrific, fiction. And this one, soporific. The stem sopor means sleep. So the word soporific would mean making you fall asleep. Nounce means to tell, where we get words like denounce, pronounce, renounce, enunciate. The word denounce comes from the stem d, that means down, and nounce. So what you're doing when you denounce someone, it means you're putting them down. You're talking them down or telling other people to put them down. Then we have andro. Andro means man. This is where we get our words android, androgynous, polyandry. Now if we look at the word androgynous, it has two stems from this list. It has the stem gyne, meaning woman, and it has andro, meaning man, and it also contains the stem ous, which means full of. So if you look at the word from that perspective, it means full of man and woman. Androgynous means it's not either masculine or feminine. It's hard to tell which one. So androgynous would be a sort of masculine and sort of feminine. So those are our words for list 11. Enjoy!